Hello Aquarius, welcome to the predictions for October 2025. When the Sun passes through the sign of Libra, the essential thing is to welcome autumn, which opens the second half of the year when the amount of light and darkness is balanced, although the length of the night is gradually increasing. It is a natural effort that requires actions to stabilize existing conditions, seeking justice both literally and figuratively. Let us remember, then, that the justice that comes from the heavens has nothing to do with what each of us wants or desires or think is right, but rather with achieving a broader perspective. And this, to be honest, is not something easy to perceive, much less understand. It takes time for us to adapt to what the sky dictates, and we only understand the message later. For this reason, it is important to understand the order of the solar system and its movements. This way, we will have more tools to know what awaits us and, most importantly, how to take advantage of it. The Sun's passage through the sign of Libra illuminates the area of your university studies, your legal affairs, and travels to distant lands. Every time this happens, you feel anew the aspiration for a just, perfect, and egalitarian world that has the characteristics you've thought of: order, refinement, intelligence, and a profoundly human nature. The sign of Libra is ruled by Venus, and following its movements, this month will shed light on what to prepare for. From October the 1st to the 7th, Venus is in Virgo and Mercury in Libra, which speaks of an exchange of energy between our thoughts and our desire for diplomacy, to look good, to find balance and justice. Virgo applies to the belongings you share with your partner. You are willing to put them in order and carefully account for common goods. Remember that the condition is to serve others and seek to be neutral with your desires, leaving behind the single vision of the self in order to think about the common good. Venus remains in Virgo and Mercury enters Scorpio on October the 7th. Mental concentration will then be stronger as it also reaches Mars in this sign. Its rulership, so now thoughts will be more focused and in harmony with actions. It brings you social and professional situations that challenge you to focus and use all your physical and mental strength to achieve what you set out to do. Try to be physically and mentally active, considering everything related to these issues. And consider also that given your values, resources, and work capacity, you have it easy. As for Venus, before leaving Virgo, it will face an opposition to Saturn in Pisces, which you will experience as a confrontation between the joy of serving and the need to contain a multitude of seemingly endless expenses and feelings. This is truly unpleasant for you who prefer to reason and appeal to intelligence rather than crying. This effort will persist until October the 12th. The following day, when Venus advances into Libra, it will strengthen your desire for refinement and elegance with studies in art, diplomacy, politics, and legality. You aspire to communicate that inspires others and also should be intelligent and compassionate. It encourages you to seek new ways to express your inner self and your faith as a balanced dialogue due to Neptune in Aries. Therefore, efforts to achieve the ideal must be carried out with justice and diplomacy. The full moon on October the 6th is special because it reinforces the growth the planets expects you to achieve, that is, to think enthusiastically, to inspire others, with your spirit of achievement, while also being consistent with the most refined philosophy and ideology. It also concerns a two-way relationship, those we have with our parents due to the position between the moon and the sun, and those we establish with our peers, because the moon in Aries is ruled by Mars and the sun in Libra is ruled by Venus. From this perspective, you will now be invited to refine your mind, allowing you to think about matters that elevate human beings not only for their intelligence but also for their spirit. This lunation is a very important time to recognize that what others reflect back to us brings the message of being proactive, not aggressive. The relationship between Venus and Mars at this time will be somewhat complex, and there may be clashes between what you want and what you actually do, especially since the signs where these planets are located propose different methods, one of service and the other of personal focus. The only way these tendencies can align in you is if you carefully analyze what you truly desire and how you organize yourself to achieve it. This is important because Mars will be in a harmonious contact with the nodes of the moon from October the 17th to the 22nd, which will affect your relationships and goals, your resources, and those you share with your partners and spouses. Be careful, use your intelligence for the greater benefit of all, and control your temper. You must leave behind an outdated vision and complete everything that is emotionally pending. Returning to Mercury, from the beginning of the month, an internal demand will arise to review what gives you security, your attempts to obtain it, and your failed actions, and the order you must follow to satisfy them all, keeping all the forms within an agreement that will be difficult to establish and complex to enforce. On October 21st at 6:24 a.m., we will have the new moon in Libra, confronting the growing need for security and the original wound that needs to be addressed to move circumstances forward in the coming months, especially in the face of changes and new ideals that are still unclear. The change is already being felt, although it is not yet clear, but it's sure to be surprising. On October the 23rd, the Sun enters Scorpio, preceded by Mars and Mercury. On that very day, the Moon, now in its new phase, is also in this sign, making this a period of important focus and emotional intensity in the professional sphere, as we've already mentioned. Remember that it occurs in supreme harmony with Jupiter in Cancer, as well as Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. This same peculiar time of the year will allow you to reconnect with the original wound, the one that occurred when you were most vulnerable. But now you will have the emotional strength to notice the corresponding lessons. In short, you will finally understand the value of what happened, free from resentment and victimization. Let's take advantage of this time until November the 7th to stabilize your emotions, facing the fear of losing security and changing what is needed, even if it hurts. On October the 22nd, Neptune re-enters Pisces for the last time, only at the 29th degree, where it will remain until January 25th. This signals a completion, culmination, and destiny, where the final lesson of the sign is learned before moving on to the next one. You experienced it through the transformation of your values. There remains the last part that you must channel and contain. For 14 years, you have experienced the best expression of Neptune in its modern rulership. It brought you the frank and open entry into other levels of perception, the entry into the culture of altered states of consciousness with the advantages and risks that this entails, and a reconsideration of your spirituality. You are also expected to close emotional processes, understanding their message. Take advantage of the harmony between Jupiter and Saturn, which will help you grow in an orderly manner and mature, because emotionally it will encourage you to express your feelings in order to feel secure and stable. Uranus and Pluto will continue to present theories, communications, and new reasons to meet and work as a team, which you will achieve if you work to stabilize yourself emotionally. However, Pluto will present a conflict on the 23rd when, due to the tension with the Sun in Scorpio, it will bring about a clash between what you want professionally and socially for yourself and what the community, groups, and society in generally consider important, powerful, or acceptable. On the 29th, when Mercury advances to Sagittarius, it will oppose Uranus in Gemini, bringing about a shock in relationships with groups and associations, and a sense of liberation and independence from your children and loved ones. You will even find new forms of creative expression that will lead you to rethink relationships and how you enjoy them. See you soon.